Happy
Bam.
Sunday, everyone.
Yo, September 1st. New month, going into the fall. Not gonna lie, fall is a very underrated season. I feel like aesthetically, it's probably my favorite.
I love the temperature the most.
That too. It just feels comfy. It's holiday. It's around holiday season. Just comfy vibes, you know?
Plus, it's football season. I love watching football, so.
We are here. And they're still thriving, man. I really like it. We're really in the last final quote unquote stretch of the manga. I am thinking about 100 chapters, just about.
I hope we get that far. Another 100 chapters would be great. If we could even end at like 325, so like 105 chapters, that would be perfect for me.
Goat and peak chapter today. Damn, goat and peak.
Interesting.
Yo, what's
Welcome,
up,
Lauren?
What's up, Gavin? We here. Nice. That Andy pull up, man. Fire.
Legendary.
It's like all of his pull ups are always just fire. I don't know. He's just him.
They've really done like 4 different like title drops in this series, and each one has been better than the last one.
Yep.
Man, I can't wait for January, the winter special.
They're gonna pop off for that. The fact that they've been promoting it really well. Honestly, probably damn near even better than than season 1 itself.
I mean, yeah.
I guess it's a step up. Good, keep it up, because this is the perfect time for Undead Unluck. You know, we can say it so many times. We have been saying it so many times. This is the perfect time for Undead to be peeped by many people. A lot of series are ending. There you go, Undead, boom, right there. 220 chapters. That means that it's good, guys. For all the ones who haven't seen it, it means it's good. I know you're probably not watching this reaction or this stream, but hey, maybe in the future.
I'd be impressed if you were.
Spring, yep. That's spring arc in anime is gonna be fire too. Everything. The only thing I ask for David Productions, give us some more fire music. That's the only thing that I've always felt David Productions haven't produced the best is music. They have like a few little go-to 1 or 2 songs that are good, but all of them sound like the same as like Fire Force and some other series that they've done. So here's hope.
What type of music do you think would fit Undead? Is more like a personalized type of production value?
Oh, what's up, Vince? By the way, if I could like compare it to like another series, because I think that's the best way I can think of it.
Because it's tough. I don't really have like a song or a genre type in mind that I think would fit it well. Some of the more quirkier OSTs from My Hero Academia, like the everyday slice of life type of stuff, I feel like that would work a lot for the background conversations or even just like some of the communications between the characters. But for like the final war arc or like Ragnarok, like I just don't know.
Fire music for Ragnarok? Oh hell yeah, that would be fire. Please.
They gotta get some like Lord of the Rings or All for One vocal.
Yep. They gotta do something like that for sure. But let me think. Honestly, since this series, there's a lot of different kinds of characters from different countries. It would be cool if the characters had themes from their countries. So like,
I like that.
You know, like Chinese theme when it comes to Fang, Shin, Mui, like Russian music for oh, I'm blanking on her name. Gina, yeah. And yeah, just go all over and just do a whole bunch of different things for that. That'd be pretty cool.
I'd like that, especially during the recruitment saga for Loop 101.
And like I said, the softer songs too, the one that they played in episode one and in the final episode of season one. That song, I like that. Do more of those because there's a lot of scenes that have that kind of feel to it for sure. Creepy stuff around. Yeah, yep.
There's got to be
Everyone
something
creepy.
just kind of from an epic standpoint, like orchestral for the 10 master rules,
Oh, for sure. Yep.
or even like white noise in the background. I feel like that'd be pretty cool if it was like inside of the sun.
Oh yeah, they'll do good with that because they're good with sound design, so they'll definitely do well with that. Even Andy change up his themes too sometimes.
Bob, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. One thing I will say, what else do you think Andy will do? Like, what hasn't he done with his ability? I'm just trying to think, what hasn't he actually done?
I think the next step is going to be kind of what Nico hinted at in terms of the self-targeting versus external targeting designation. So maybe he could, heal Chikara up. I don't know if I necessarily like that because his conversation with Billy, how he was going to develop his ability from there. But it would kind of suck if Chikara can never see Tatiana again, even after she gets out of the whole, untouchable little ball. But
yeah, Vince, that would be fire because they've done that with JoJo's. A lot of OPs and ADs, like they change it up depending on what's going on in the series. Power wise, that would be pretty fire. That would be dope.
Or even if they did, like they changed like some of the nouns into a different language and had different versions.
Okay.
Because you know how Attack on Titan has Japanese, German, English.
Right.
It'd be pretty cool if they did that, something like that.
That's really like the only thing David Productions is missing for me, man. That's the only thing. Everything else, they do it well.
I just don't think they have the budget for it.
I mean, you think
after the end of the
do?
debt, no, I don't know. Maybe it's just not like a focus for them. It's like half a joke, but
it might not be a focus because I feel like aside from like JoJo's, that one had like a lot of great music. Which, funny enough, when I said about different characters from different countries, they do that in JoJo's. Like a lot.
It was like the Egyptian stuff, right?
Yeah, Egypt, every country, like anywhere. There's a lot of people from a lot of different places in JoJo, so the grammar is terrible in AOT. I wouldn't know. It sound fire though, but hey, it sound fire, but you could be right.
To a non-native ear, it sounds great.
It's funny because like some people put those kind of comments when I do my like reaction to anime voices in different languages. Sometimes they point out how like in a certain language that the grammar is off or like something that doesn't make sense, but it just sounds fire to me. Oh, that's fire, or I'm like, oh, that's trash, and they're like, oh, actually read the things, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it actually is bad or it actually is good, but still the voice delivery is always whatever, So that's funny.
Fair enough.
Well, you know what I've learned though? Fun fact: Ukrainian dub, for some reason, they are like out of all the reactions I've done for that specific series on my channel, Ukrainian dub is like the best. They're just really good when it comes to dubbing. I don't know. I never knew that. They are. German's pretty good too though. And I usually like rank them, and yeah, Ukrainians usually anytime it is in the reaction, it's always at the top. Ukrainian, German, certain Spanish, because a lot of different kinds of Spanish, like Portuguese or Latin Spanish, Brazilian. French is always at the bottom though. No offense to the French.
Sacre bleu.
What's going on? Sometimes they're really good, but a lot of times they're like, I don't know what's going on.
Sorry, Rip. Sorry, Layla. Sorry, Latla.
Sorry.
It is what it is.
That trio are my guys, man. They are the food, we are the hunters, but they intended it to mean we used to be prey, now we are the hunters. I see. Of course you would know, because aren't you German, right, Vince? Or are you from Germany?
I think so.
Or I was say, or am I forgetting? Getting people mixed up.
No, it kind of sucks because like my primary social media of choice is Twitter, and I know that there's like an entire country that is now, excluded from them. Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Brazil. Brazil is just.
Oh yeah. I heard about that. Just out of nowhere, boom. And there's a
Yeah,
lot
their
of like,
Supreme Court said something. So I think was a Raven in here. We're in our Discord.
yeah, damn.
So like I know the Undead Unluck community is pretty big on Twitter. That and Kagurabachi, but it just kind of sucks that an entire populace is now excluded from that site.
Because Brazil, there a lot of people from Brazil are into anime. So I seen like a lot, and not even just that, like a lot of even sports. I seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh yeah, we're pretty much through," and then damn. Well, keep joining Discords and try to find people on Instagram and TikTok. There's a lot of other outlets, but hopefully those people find their communities again.
Yeah, the translation's never going to be perfect. And that's why, for the most part, I will give translators the benefit of the doubt. Like, sometimes it just doesn't work to translate something that is uniquely one culture's thing. Now, JJK translator, maybe not so much.
He got cooked. He literally got cooked by the English dub for Fusion.
I saw that.
That's how bad.
I was like, that's crazy.
In the chapter that officially dropped today, I'm like, why does he like the way that he uses dialogue? Like, no normal person talks like that. He like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, when somebody's like trying to fit in and like they're not like hip with certain, I don't know, like
hi fellow kids.
Yeah, he like talks like that, and also he gets like regular terms, like standard terms wrong. Like he can switch like a curse technique, like a name of a curse technique with a domain expansion. I'm like, that's elementary. You should know the difference between the two. Why are you mixing up the name? It's
and I'm
really
pretty
bad.
sure that either the kanji or the hiragana or the katakana is like completely different to where you would be able to know the difference.
It's really bad. I'm like, dude. I'm like, bro, there's 3 chapters left, and you still never got better. It's too late now. You only got 3 left. You can't do nothing. I'm not gonna accept it. If you do really good for the last 3 chapters, I'm not gonna accept it, bro. It's too late.
That kind of goes back to our whole good ending for a bad show versus bad ending for a good show conversation.
Right. It's not gonna fix it, man. I don't know if he always has been bad, but from when I've been covering it, it seems like he's been for a good chunk, for at least 100 chapters.
Yeah.
So maybe he was, I don't know.
My issue is with the Demon Slayer translation. Like, even the names of the attacks are changed. Like, the same attack, it's now named something else in a later chapter. It's so inconsistent. I hate it.
Oh yeah, Elon. Yeah, he's been making bad decisions with Twitter, as you can see. Brazil. Oh yeah. See.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
On that note, yeah, I can go for this first this week, since my internet, fingers crossed, is doing pretty good. So those of you who are new or watching in post, what we're going to do, Vontae's going to take off his camera, going to take off his mic. I'm going to do my own blind reaction. I will pull him back in once I finish up, and then he's going to give you his own blind reaction to the chapter.
Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, JJK. I didn't like the pacing of it. I'll just leave it at that. I didn't like the pacing of that chapter. But all right, I'm out.
Yeah, all right. Okay, guys, so chapter 220 now. Come on! I'm sure that Andy thinks that moment was where it all started, but that's not true. The truth is, flashing back to present time. All right, you still got those blood wings. Kapew! That's a weird onomatopoeia. Blood's blood clot ball. He took it out with one finger? Gah! This is designed to negate me. This unluck. Undead. He's gone. Alright, this is the one panel I was spoiled on. So he's got his Kage Bunshin no Jutsu? Bushi? Bunshin? Shadow Clone Jutsu. Clones spawn via regeneration? Wow. Didn't know you could do that. His regeneration is more refined than mine, huh? They're just clones from his skin. The only one who can attack is the main body. You can tell the difference by their mass. I see. In that case, what do you mean the only one that can attack? Why is that the assumption, Blood? I don't know why you think that. It's this one. Phew, headshot. Bad bullet. Oh, she was wearing an Andy skin? That is crazy, guys. Bad bullet, undead skin. So that was their plan. But there wasn't much contact time. And now this won't miss with, you know, the blood skewer through his forehead. About to do a dead road. Dead the road! I see. By imbuing Unluck, you ensure the next special attack doesn't miss. But that isn't enough to kill me. You think that will be God? You're naive. You have the same ability as me. So why are you on their side? I'm sure you understand. Just accept it. I live by my own rule, as he puts back the... Oh man, Fuuko looks kind of worse for wear. I know she's been through a lot. She did the 3-point landing, had the possibly her eyeball taken out. She does not look good. And no matter what happens, that rule will never fade, even if it's up against God. All right, lands, talking to him. Whoa! A car hits him. Another stroke of unluck. But what kind? Oh no. If you split up his body without a plan, don't worry. Is the unluck concentrated in my body? In that case, I'll regenerate from a different part. Ka-chink, 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 ka-chink. All right, got the Pokeballs. My warp pass have been sealed off? A third party must have interfered. Make sure you keep an eye from the satellite. Roger. Oh, thanks to you, our boy Nico. I'm as happy as can be, Andy. What are you talking about, Nico? It's all up from here. Aw. We're only just getting started. All the ties you've worked to form over the past 200 years will come. Fuuko looks up. To help us. This is the Union. We are just going to obliterate, ruin. Ding, ding, ding. Mr. Boyd. Oh, now that takes me back. We're here as well. Shen Jian Extendo. Oh my god. I don't know how much you guys know about soccer, but there's like juggling to where as a team in a circle, you're trying to keep the ball from hitting the ground. They're literally juggling this man's cranium off the ground with attacks. Too much. Mr. Nico, this should do it, right? Yep. Oh, Shen and Mui. So what's the deal with them? They an item already? Thank you, Andy. We're always living and never giving up. Chomp. It started with you, Andy. If you were never born, then it was just dumb luck. All right, dropping his finger off into her hand. You're the one who turned that luck into fate. Oh, does he have to go back to the sun? No! I understand why, but I never thought this was the case. He seems to be fading away. All right. Ruin out to space. Thanks to all the skin. What are we doing, guys? Thanks to you, Fuuko, I have a rule within me now. Damn him. He was in my body? So I've been getting unluck this entire time. Too bad we can't hear each other in space. Bruh. I told you, didn't I? I've got one rule and one rule only. I'm guessing you found that in God, but I got mine from her. That's why I can live. That's why I can take on any challenge. Now, come on. You follow it too. All right, this is a sick double spread. Throwback to all of the interactions. All right, so we're going to go. Initial time is either the meteorite or the lightning bolt. When he was going up against Gina initially, we got the fall arc, the spring arc, during Ragnarok when he got his christening of his name. Let's enjoy what life has to offer. All right, she's looking up. Clothy's still there too. Interesting. So Clothy, I feel like Andy, much like Ruin at this point, has almost fused or developed some sort of synchronicity with Clothy, much like Ruin has with Blood and Shadow. So there's all these little blood droplets out in space. Man, that was a great chapter. So I guess maybe they're fighting in space, maybe to prevent Ruin from taking out all the other members, because Fuuko was saying that since the Master Rules are now set to be reintroduced into the storyline, they can't have any more casualties. That's my guess. Let's see what you guys are talking about. I'll finally pull up the chat. Oh, so they're just clones without any attack power. Interesting. Where did the katana come from? That's a good question. Let me take a look. Because he doesn't have it in his chest as of page 13. All right, still looking. What katana are you talking about, Vince? Like, what page are you looking at? Unless it was near the start of the chapter? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think what you saw was maybe like his either bone sword or his blood sword that Andy creates from his I forget the main name of the bone in the arm, but okay, page 14. Yeah, I think that's part of his bone attack. Or that even might be the top of the I was going to say power pole. I know that's not it. Sorry, I'm forgetting the name of it. Okay, we're in agreement. Yeah, that was a great chapter. God, that went by quickly. I feel like with all the action in this chapter, there wasn't a lot of talking. It was just Ruin kind of processing everything that was going on. Fuuko wearing Andy's skin is absolutely buck wild. But there has to be a reason why Andy wanted to take this into space. My best guess is that he doesn't want any other casualties and he can kind of go more all out in space, because he was able to fight Spoil in space in Loop 100. Noibo. Thank you, Kebab. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get Vontae in here so you can get his reaction. Yeah, short and sweet. Not to say I did not enjoy it. That was a great chapter, but all right. Haven't heard back from him yet. He might be getting a quick swig to eat, or swig to eat. No, that's the opposite. A swig to drink or something to eat. All right, so while we wait for Vontae to get back, I will just mention that today we are going to do a tier list of our favorite characters, specifically from Loop 100. So we wanted to split it up specifically between Loop 100 and Loop 101, because there's certain characters, Sean, that we absolutely hated in Loop 100, but we love in Loop 101. Now, at this point in the story, it is more so of a culmination of those two loops, at least for me, of how I feel about my character rankings. So just because I rank someone number 1 in Loop 100 and I rank them maybe 3rd or 4th in Loop 101 doesn't necessarily mean that we take the average and then they're now my second favorite character. It's more so of, I would say, Loop 101, which will be next weekend. That will be more so how I feel in culmination for the character. So... All right, guys, what I'll do, I'll go ahead and put in for, or into the chat, I should say, the link to our Discord, and then you guys can go ahead and at Vontae. So hopefully he can come in here a little bit sooner. I will also mention, I think I do prefer last chapter just a little bit more. It had a bit more of a nostalgic feel to it. What do you guys think? I know that this chapter was also kind of hyped up to be a really great chapter, and it was. But me personally, I prefer last chapter over this one.
All right, I'm back. I
There we
purposely
go.
waited like about 15 minutes because I was like, okay, it might be a long chapter, but no.
You'll see why.
All right. All right, chapter 2. Wait, okay, I'm back. Wait. All right. Undead Unluck. All right, chapter 220. And it is called Now Come On. All right, damn. It's like, so this is back to the beginning once again. It's like how people pointed out last chapter, the parallels between the first chapter and the last one. I'm sure that Andy thinks that moment was where it all started, but that's not true. The truth is, okay, the ruin still in the air. Blood clot ball. He took it out with one finger. That boy Andy is insane. This is designed to negate me. This unluck, undead, he's gone. Fuck. Oh, or did he just like speed past him or behind him or something in his blind spot? Oh shit. Oh, okay. So he did clones. All right, surrounding them. Clone spawned via regeneration. Wow. Don't know you could. Didn't know you could do that. His regeneration is more refined than mine, huh? They're just clones from his skin. Andy is different. He's on a different level. I'm actually glad because a lot of characters like him, like where they get like injured or they have to like they're a person that was getting like slashed up, sliced up, and need to regenerate. Well, I can't always say it because obviously we got Wolverine and Deadpool. They're both badass and they kick ass all the time. But sometimes characters like this, they typically are always getting fucked up. But I like that Andy is like also somebody that's completely on the offensive as well. You know, fucking other people up even more now than before. The only one who can attack is the main body. You can tell the difference by their mass. I see. In that case, it's this one. Oh shit. Okay, so he got that one, and then you see Andy right behind him. Bad bullet to undead skin. What? Oh hell no. Okay. Remember what I was saying before we started this reaction about Andy? What else can he do, or what else will he do? I mean, I know we've seen him do something like this before, but it's just I still can't get over it. Skin, bro. What the hell, man? So that was their plan, but there wasn't much contact time. And now this won't miss. Dead Rhoda. Boom. Ooh, I love that panel. It's like he pushed that. Like, I love how that looks because from above, it as he obviously is closer and closer to us on the ground, and you see him planted to the ground face first to the god. God damn, he fucked him up. That boy made a crater. I see by imbuing unluck you ensure the next special attack doesn't miss, but this isn't enough to kill me. You think that will beat God? You're naive. You have the same ability as me, so why are you on their side? I'm sure you understand. Just accept it. I live by my own rule. That's a bar. That is a line right there. That's a line right there. That's a line. That's a nice panel that I would use a lot. I live by my own rule. No pun intended slash pun intended. Both. And no matter what happens, that rule will never fade. Mm. Even if it's up against God. I I was I was about to joke and say that car about to hit him up. And literally, the car. God damn, bro was getting fucked up. Another stroke of unluck. But what kind? Oh no! If you split up his body without a plan, don't worry. Is the unluck concentrated in my body? And in that case, I'll regenerate from a different part. Okay, let's see. Whoa, is that like Nico's pods or like or the I guess the like Union? Yeah, I'm assuming Nico probably made that to trap him, kind of like with Andy in the first chapter, first episode. My warp paths have been sealed off. A third party must have interfered. Make sure you keep an eye from the satellite. Roger. Oh, thanks to you. Yep, Nico. Thanks to you. I'm as happy as can be. Andy. And this looks like the Nico that we know. It looks like he cut his hair a little bit. See that the eye bags. Man, Nico's character is so good. It's like he literally like adopted everything, all the trauma. I mean, we already know this, but it's just crazy to see that like compared to everybody else in this loop, like they are pretty much like their prior self, not exactly to the T, but a good chunk. But him is like pretty much the same. It's just that he accepted his trauma and he's good now. Even though he looks the same, everything power wise, everything's the same, brain the same, everything's the same. It's pretty unique. What are you talking about, Nico? It's all up from here. We're only just getting started. All the ties you've worked to form over the past 200 years will come to help us. Unavoidable. But oh yeah, they jumping his ass. Yep. Mr. Void. Oh, now that takes me back. We're here as well. Shinjan, extent, boom, powerful. God damn, they about to send him to space. Mr. Nico, this should do, right? Oh, Shin and Mui. So what's the deal with them? They in item already? They have an item already? Thank you, Andy, for always living and never giving up. It started with you, Andy. If you were never born, then it was just dumb luck. Damn. Is he going away again? It's just dumb luck, huh? Oh, he dropped his finger to her. Is that what he did? Let her hold on to that? You're the one who turned that, or is he about to go to space, like kind of in the spoiler arc? Once again, another callback, if that's the case. You're the one who turned that luck into fate. Love that panel, by the way. Send that boy to space. Yep. Thanks to you. Yep. Thanks to you, Fuuko. I have a role within me now. Damn him. He was in my body. So that's actually wild. So I've been getting unlocked this entire time. Too bad we can't hear each other in space. I told you, didn't I? I've got one rule and one rule only. I'm guessing you found that in God, but I got mine from her. That's why I can live. That's why I can take on any challenge. Now come on, you follow it too. Oh wow, look at that double spread of all the memories. Damn. Fire. Seeing shit like this really does seem like we're definitely in the final stretch of the manga. When we've gotten like flashbacks for the last three this chapter included the last three chapters, callbacks, flashbacks, all of that. All right. Let's enjoy what life has to offer. And that's another fire double spread right there. Damn. They're fucking rolling up. I wonder, I like the whole rule talk with Andy. It's like there's a difference between me and you. You're devoted to God, and you don't have your own rule, per se. You don't have your own morals. It's like you just kind of follow blindly, or whatever. We don't know yet necessarily, but he kind of just follows God. Oh, Andy, he had Fuuko, and Fuuko had him. I like how they both had each other. It's not like one side as how Fuuko probably felt this whole time, but Andy's like, "Oh, you helped me too, tremendously."
I am going to say something, and I wonder how you, so both Bonte and everyone watching, is going to feel about it. Is there a possibility the guy from the first episode is in fact Ruin?
Why do you think that? Is it just because it's like that would be a cool plot twist, or do you have like a basis behind that? Something specific
So
you've seen?
obviously the guy has like the scar across his left side of his eye, and now blood is taking over that. that would allow him to be on the team without him being on the team. And we have not gotten that character at all in this loop.
Mm-hmm. And his hair here is shorter. But, I mean, hair could just grow. It's anime, so it can change up his look. That would be pretty wild. Also, but the guy had a sword. I think he would still have a sword, probably. He doesn't have to, but I think having a katana, he would probably still have that.
See, I'm curious if Andy being captured in Loop 100 and thus being killed, that guy being killed, if that was against the grain of what should have happened if it was only Victor.
So like a butterfly effect?
Sort of, yeah. So there was one conversation between, I think it was it Rip and Ruin, or was it Andy and Ruin, to where he was like, oh, Juiz never mentioned you, so you never got to this point before.
I forgot, but I remember that though. Yeah. Forgot who said it.
Yeah, so I was just, that was a thought I had while like reading the end of this chapter, because if you remember with those like Pokeball capture devices, that was what he used against Andy, and now this chapter, it's being used against him.
Right. That would be a crazy plot twist. So he's like on some abomination shit. He's Hulk too. He's like a Hulk too. Oh yeah, abomination. That'd be a crazy plot twist.
And I want you to go back to page 4. And I want you to look at the top 3 panels.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see when he infiltrated. I guess he infiltrated his body there.
I think so.
To see from where? Like, did he slip through his ear? Probably his ear.
The reason why I bring that up, Fuuko was wearing Andy's skin.
Yeah, that's actually wild.
That is crazy.
I thought she just kind of like had it, like kind of touched it the whole time, but she, you know,
she was wearing it because you see
like the Andy coming. Weird, bro. I mean, obviously it makes sense, but I'm just saying, like,
would you love me if I turned into a worm? Would you love me if I could wear your skin? That's weird, right?
I just realized they might end up doing more of that later on. Imagine Andy.
I don't like that it, developed into that, but
the Andy leather coat, Fuuko rocking an Andy leather coat.
Oh,
matter of fact, that should be the next volume cover. How about that? Turn Andy to like a clothy / Andy skin / Unluck Undead.
Oh, good God!
The art in this chapter is really good though. Like from the choreography all the way through to like the panels of Fuuko and Andy talking to each other. All of that was really good. Like a lot of this stuff, once again, it really feels like we're in the final stretch, because like a lot of stuff are callbacks, flashbacks, just everybody doing their moves. Like, we haven't seen Shin use the fucking staff in a long time.
I really love page 9 as well, with Nico, Ichiko, Andy, and Fuuko, because it's almost like a mirrored version, and you show them both on the right hand side with wearing their wedding rings.
Right.
So that was just great. Love the callback to Unavoidable on the bridge.
When I seen the car, I was like, "Oh yeah, you about to get it." I should have said, I knew it. I looked, I was like, "Oh yeah."
I didn't like peep the car before that panel, and I was just like, "Oh great, we're doing this callback to what happened to Andy in Brazil for the truck, and then also the shark."
Right. That's hilarious.
Now, another thing that I brought up is that obviously, pardon me, obviously we know Ruin has a sort of synergy with Blood and Shadow, to where they both seem to be regenerating from within his essence. I think based on the last panel with Clothy being on Andy's shirt collar. I think Clothy has fully integrated with either the soul or the core of Andy within Clothy.
I remember, so I seen you guys talking about that in the Discord the other day about like where did Coffee go or whatever.
Yeah,
I can't really make sense of it because how would you? I mean, because since like the world is like restarted, how would he be exempt from that? If you get what I mean, like wouldn't he just dissipate like every other?
I think it depends on if the core was destroyed or not. Because with Ragnarok, obviously the planet was blown up, but we saw the little piece of Andy Victor floating in space. Yeah. I think the core for Clothy might be like a single thread, because we know that all the Umas have, a single fiber, because we know that all of the Umas in this series, they have cores. So I think that might have been, either attached to his head, like associated with him. And that would even explain how Clothy survived from let's just call it the charcoaling of the sun with Andy's body.
That could work. You know something that would have been pretty cool now that I think about it? What if Andy imagine if Andy, we could still probably get this. What if Andy kept something from Fuuko, like her hair or something, all that time? Imagine that, like he kept that unluck on him. Something like a little something in the back pocket. No pun intended. He don't have no pocket, but
do you think maybe like my only question would be where? But also potentially, was it a bullet or was it a sword that stabbed him in the chest from Juiz? Like back when he tried to kill her, it was a sword.
I think.
You think maybe there's like a sword bit still stuck inside of the chest?
Oh, like a little shard or something like that. Probably. Ruin, you getting packed up, buddy. You and Sick need to I don't know. Y'all might need to team up because I know y'all both need your get backs. Both got done.
It's bad when you get like a callback attack against you. Like, you're getting messed up.
Yeah.
If it's a reference to another fight.
Bro, I love the shading in that last panel with like the black, the white. It just like I
love the way Tozuka draws space.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you see shadow and blood coming from his two appendages. Yeah, but my theory about that guy was just trying to like make sense of why he hasn't shown up yet.
Ruin, man, I think Tezuka's really going to cook with him because like he's been teasing it every chapter. Every time, whether it's his own philosophy, his morals, why is he so devoted to God? Like it's still very ambiguous. So like I can't wait until we finally get it, like actually get it. Because I like what you had said last reaction about like what if they are like kind of like just using them as like a what are you saying, like donating blood or something like that?
Yeah, if he was forcefully made to donate his own blood.
Right. Because I feel like his character amongst a lot has like there's a lot of layers, a lot of themes to his character. Even just if you're going by shadow and blood itself, like there's a lot of thematic. It's a lot of things with him that we do and don't know about.
Here's a thought: what if he was the first player of the game, like a beta tester?
Maybe.
And then when he lost, he was kind of in awe of what God, that mountain of. It kind of reminds me of Deku and Bakugo versus All Might during their final exams. That is a mountain that cannot be crossed.
So we absolutely Juiz, because I mean we've seen it before that we didn't know if she knew about the master rules, and then we finally seen she actually did.
She did. Yep.
Yeah. So I wonder if I don't know if I'm forgetting something dialogue wise, but she didn't know about Ruin at all, huh? At least to our knowledge.
Not that we know of. I would say
Right.
probably not. It probably never even got to the point to where like he would play a pivotal role in the story, but Fuuko was starting to, concern them with how her powers worked. A lot of the time she died before she could even be introduced into the group. And I want to say that Loop 100 might have been the first time that she ever got introduced into the Union.
Right. Yeah, Ruin, he's some. Remember we kept talking about glitches? He might be the glitch. He might.
I'm just curious, like, why does he feel so steadfast in like his belief in God? You think that will beat God? Like, it almost sounds like he's tried to do it himself.
I see what you mean. Yeah, 'cause why would you say that? Most people won't say something like that unless, well, I mean, if you're a dick rider, yeah. I mean,
Wow, yeah,
that's one, but like
it could go either way.
Yeah, it could go either way. Because he said it like a few times already. He said it like I think last chapter too.
I think he might have also said something last loop, like along a similar line. So he's been, spouting those same words pretty much
and then it was
ever since we met him.
I think they put emphasis on that. You think that will be God? I forgot where he said it, but I think he did say it.
Oh, this chapter? Yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
Page 5.
5. Yeah, they bolded that. Yep. They bolded it. You're naive.
And also, like, him saying you have the same ability as me, it's not the same, though, right? It's at least not technically.
Yeah, it's like
it has similar aspects, but it's not the same.
Right. It's kind of like, I think there's other characters in the series that are kind of like that too. I'm trying to think. But yeah, it's like that's why when you said like, what if he was a player like the original, like the OG player one, because he does seem like a not complete undead, like he's almost like a like you said, like a beta version of Andy, or a pseudo undead. Like it's not quite that, but like a test.
Take a look at page 5 again.
Yeah,
specifically his dialogue. Does it seem like the eye is talking and not him, or is that just like a weird kind of end of page panel?
It could be just to show like the intensity in his eye, like he's really serious about, like, you think that will beat God, but it is interesting that there's emphasis to his eye, like.
Well, I was going to say, because in the panel above, you don't see, those little edges to the text bubbles, like pointing towards who's talking, because obviously it's someone off screen. But then in the bottom page, it's like it's coming directly from the eyeball. Do you think maybe it's kind of like a Get Out situation?
Could be. He definitely got something
controlling
going on.
A character.
Right. The more and more that I look at him, he definitely, like in this loop specifically, he has like white and black hair, obviously the scar. Like he definitely seems. You know what though? That might be because you can see how his neck is kind of coated with I'm guessing
blood.
That blood.
Yeah.
It probably is blood talking. Whichever of the three. Yeah, I think they always kind of say the same shit.
I mean, that would make more sense in terms of like, you think that will beat God?
Yeah.
But whatever. I feel like I'm a bit 5-headed here.
So what do you think is going to happen with him? Do you think he's going to, quote unquote, flip sides? Because I feel like it's still being teased, but at the same time, he's not giving any notion that he wants to whatsoever.
Not in like the traditional sense. I don't think that he's going to 100% join the team. I think he's going to do something that's going to be beneficial for us. but I don't think that he's going to, fully commit to our side.
This is definitely an Andy situation. Like every time I'm looking at the hair, it just reminds me when Andy transforms into Victor and vice versa. It's like he's half and half, but like I'm waiting for like a dialogue where he says something kind of contradictory. So like he's like a vessel. So the body that he's inhabiting is whoever's the white-haired individual, because that's probably like the, because we've seen him with black hair in the last loop, so I'm assuming that's like the Victor. Ruin is like the Victor, and then whoever the other half is like somebody else. But I don't know, maybe it's just a design choice, but I feel like that's kind of random to just make his hair white and black when you could just made it black like in the previous loop. So
that's true. I will also say that we mentioned this multiple times during like volume, I don't know, 13 to 15 last loop, but his kind of coordination or synchronicity with blood and shadow, we have not seen that with any other Uma, to where they have almost tied their fate to that character. I mean, we might be seeing it here with Clothy, but no, it's day and night. But yeah, I don't know.
I didn't realize it was hella bright. Vince, you said that, I didn't realize. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? All right, here we go. Was it like that the whole time, or did it like?
For a while, but I was gonna say that. Yeah. I thought it was funny. I was like, "Sun's coming for you."
No. Yeah, Erwin is such a weird character. I mean, at least we've went from the days of like being sus about Billy, Juiz. Now it's Ruin and Soul. I think they're like, and obviously the gods, Sun and Luna. So I guess it's changed.
Do you think maybe it's Soul's influence on him why he has white hair now? Because now he's like officially the contracted killer on behalf of Soul? Or do you think that Soul and Ruin had any sort of interaction last loop?
We really don't know. Every time, like the Master Rulers are the type of characters that we don't know anything. Like with Juiz interaction with them, we didn't know that. We didn't know that Soul. Like now we're thinking like, damn, Soul might have been always controlling people after we seen what happened with Kurusu. So or Kururu. Yeah. So it's I feel like Soul is a character that it's one of those safe characters to use in a story. Like I think Suzuka implemented the Master Rules at a good time because it's never going to be a retcon because we just don't know some of the behind the scenes stuff. Even with like the leaking of information to Billy, right? Like we didn't know how he got the information, but now when you think about it, maybe Soul had that influence where he like kind of like just leaked into his mind.
Yeah, but don't you think like Billy would question that? Like, what's going on? Like, why do I have this idea in my head or these memories that I never had before?
I think kind of the reason why he can control people is because they already have like a trauma, or at least for Billy's sake, he already is going through a trauma and is already kind of thinking this way. And then Soul just kind of forces him into that completely. Like Billy is already kind of through his trauma, he's already kind of I guess it's like a God thing, right? You know, when people are going through like crazy stuff in real life and they like, question God or whatever, I think he had like Billy's already at that kind of level. So it's like with that little bit of influence, it just automatically made him, steadfast towards that. But
sort of like really a premonition type of deal.
Yeah, but we just really don't know. Yeah. Soul said something about Ruin borrowing his power.
I vaguely remember that. I know that was somewhat recent, so I can probably go back and check, but I think you're right, Lauren.
It is really weird. Soul and Ruin are both really weird. It's like every time I think about the creation of those characters and what they're doing is just strange.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lauren. I'll believe you. You wouldn't put that in the chat if you weren't correct. All right. Well, yeah, I thought this was a great chapter. I do slightly prefer last chapter because of the nostalgia. I think I mentioned that in my reaction, but this one was another great chapter. A lot of references.
Yeah. Trying to think, is there anything else I want to say before we get into the next segment? You guys know the drill. I think that's pretty much it. I'm just excited to see what's. Well, the next chapter, I'm assuming we're just kind of. Oh, well, okay. The thing that I'm waiting on is for them to isolate and separate Billy and Gina, because I know that's going to happen. That's their plan. It's going to happen. And we're going to have to find them, pinpoint where they are, or whatever. Well, we know where they are, but like, or where they would be. And that's going to be a whole another obstacle to go over. So, yeah.
So do you not think that we're going to get a soul training arc, or do you think that they're going to be split up after that arc?
I think it's going to happen simultaneously. Like maybe, I feel like in a lot of stories, when there needs to be like a training arc for everybody, it can work. But at the same time, I kind of do like when not everybody's going through it. So like, if that's happening, Andy can also at the same time teach people of how to improve their soul and whatnot. Matter of fact, I think Fang can also probably teach them that too, because we know that his soul is improved.
Well, he's been teaching Shen as far as we know.
Well, yeah, so he can also teach as well. So it's gonna be funny seeing his way to teach and Andy's way to teach. I think they're both not gonna. Well, Andy, I think he'll do a good job. He has good. I mean, they both have great battle IQ, but I feel like Fang is gonna say something like, I don't know, like something that's not very zen.
Well, and here's the thing. Just do it. What do you mean you can't do it? Just do it.
Hey, you're the PE coach.
Yeah, fair enough. And plus, we still have to remember, we have not used Remember. Like, right. When does that come into play? Is it going to come into play?
That's the last stepping stone before we get into the war. I feel like it can go either way. It can either
I don't know. I feel like you got to use it before.
I mean, it still will be before, but like, I think it's one of those things where it's either we're going to use it around now since we got the whole game together, or it's going to happen when we absolutely need, like, say Juiz, for example, like we just need her back. So we're going to use Remember on Julia, and
like her whole power not developing yet.
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. So I'm trying to think. Do you think her ability should manifest before she used Remember, or does Remember need to be used then she essentially awakens her power?
Well, I mean, I've mentioned this theory before. I think they're going to coincide to where, as they use Remember, maybe Julia's power kicks in, and then it flips it to the opposite choice, to where we're going to have someone lose their memories. And if it's Fuuko, oof.
Damn. Imagine. I can actually see that happening, kind of. Especially if Juiz is back. She can play as the first seat, even though Fuuko's technically still the first seat, unless she just transferred the points, I guess. But I don't think she would do that. I don't think Juiz will allow her to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of getting to the point, and this isn't necessarily a problem, even though I'm going to classify it as that. It kind of reminds me of the problem with One Piece in terms of we have a lot of things that need to happen. It's just the order in which they happen is going to be important. So How is Tozuka going to use Remember? How is he going to give Julia his power? How is he going to age them up? How is he going to get Ruin on our side? How are we going to train? How are we going to prepare for these master roles? What about the quest? Is God/Son going to be included in this final fight? I have so many questions, and that's great.
Right. All right, ready for the next segment?
Yep. So, guys, we are going to do another tier list. This time, it's going to be our favorite characters from Loop 100 specifically. So it is not going to be a culmination, and it is not going to be a Loop 101 specifically. Now, you might have noticed I did not include a couple of characters on here. And then I also did include just a few Umas, but obviously not all of them. So, with that being said, this is specifically for volumes 1 through 15 and how we feel about those characters in that first half or section of the story. All right.
Sure.
Next up, or I guess I should say first off, is going to be our boy, Andy.
S tier, easy.
I think it's, goes without saying.
It's like,
you guys don't want us to talk about this, especially
like,
last
honestly,
week.
Yeah, like honestly, what is one thing you could say that's like bad about Andy's character, aside from like what made people not, what made people drop the series? Other than that, like what does he do that make you like, oh yeah, fuck this guy, or I don't like this about him. We need more of this. He did everything. Great dialogue, great fighting, great philosophy. We seen his dream. Like, it's so much to his character in Loop 100 that like he was solidified.
Yeah, a staple of the series, and that's great whenever you can make. I would say he's universally loved by the fandom. So whenever you can get your MC to be universally loved by the fandom, that's just fantastic. Yep. All right, next up, our boy Billy.
S tier.
S tier again. Personally, I feel like a lot of these conversations are going to be more prolonged in terms of where in the tier we find them. I don't know about you, but I do not like him as much as Andy in the first loop.
I feel like I did some, like, it will go back and forth, but like what really solidified it was when Andy was talking to him about like just his whole philosophy and why it's kind of flawed. That's what, remember, I kept going on and on about that. I was like, thank you, because I need that. When it comes to like main characters, I always need them to have like cold dialogue and being very real about a situation. And we never really seen Andy talk like that before. That's how serious he was and passionate about the whole situation. So yeah, that's one reason why I have him slightly above Billy, but Billy is really close to him, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's not a knock. You are in the S tier and near the highest part of the S tier. Even
in terms of aura, Billy definitely had like the most aura, aside from Victor.
All right, next up, the mad scientist himself, Nico.
You know how I feel about Nico at Loop 100.
I enjoyed him, not necessarily loved him. To be fair to him, his pain that he experienced with Uma Ghost, I feel like I definitely loved that part, but it took too long to get into that. And then, yes, I do somewhat agree with Vontae. It took a while to be implemented into the story, and then it was a very quick resolution on purpose, but we do have to knock him down a little bit for that. I would say B tier for Loop 100. I feel like that's fair.
Yep, because like he's good enough. Like, I'm not going to say he's a C tier. It's just that by design, he's not supposed to. Well, I can't say that. I can't speak for people. But by design, I would say that he's supposed to be controversial. Like, we can all agree on that.
At least in Loop 100.
Yeah, 101 is way different. We'll get to that. Way different. Like, way different.
Next up is Ruin.
Urine.
Topic. Killed Fuuko, just, was on God's nuts all this time. That's tough.
Get jiggy with that. I'm not gonna put him too low, only because like he had an impact. Killing Fuuko is an impact. Like I do not rock with him whatsoever. But like, I would at least give him C tier. Or okay, you know what? Let me stop real quick. I gotta think about the character, not just how I like him, but like the character overall, what they do for the story. He definitely was like the first real obstacle
Yep.
that was like, whoa. So I can't do that. I'll put him. I'll give him B tier.
B tier, but below Nico for me.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Next up, this isn't fair to Phil. I did include him, but I did not include Void. Obviously, the reason for that is that Phil survived all the way to the end of Loop 100, whereas we only got Void development, I guess I should say, in the chapter extras. I didn't even know that there was a person inside that robot until I read the volume extras. So, Phil, to his credit, he did not have a focus in last loop. I will say him, fighting in Ragnarok with the super coolant, with him bleeding, that was crazy. I hate to do this to my boy, but to match the color of the tier list, I would put him in B tier.
Yep, he is. Yeah, because there really wasn't nothing until obviously this was.
All right, next up, little ball of sunshine. We got Tatiana.
Interesting. So me personally, I would put her in B tier above. What? B tier or A tier? She had a lot of focus in one here.
I think I would put her in A tier. Her cute little demeanor with her being the traditional girl, just liking plushies, having the room, sushi, the cake bar, whole situation with Billy, her just wanting to die because, oh my God, what happened with her parents? Her not even realizing that. The whole conversation. Yep, exactly. The whole conversation she had with Fuuko as she was protecting her friend, knowing that she would die to Apocalypse/Sun. I would put her in A tier.
I agree. And yeah, Vince, we know that some of those pictures are 101.
Yeah, sorry.
She already has the images, that's why.
Yep. All right. Next up, Top Bull Sparks.
Top is really solid. I think he's a very solid B tier.
His friendship with Chikara, trusting him to run as fast as he can, and Chikara would stop him in spring, is a highlight of that arc for me.
Yeah, for sure. He's B tier. I just don't know where to rank him as a character overall.
Outside of that, he didn't really have a focus. There were a couple of jokes between him and Fuuko and him and Shen in the Old Western arc. I'd say behind Nico.
Yeah, that's fair. I have trouble putting people behind Ruin just because Ruin now when it comes to likeness, it's just really low. That definitely impacts it. It sways it a bit. But he did exactly what he needed, what he was designed to do. But still,
you've made a good antagonist when people absolutely hate them, and then you can write it to where, well, maybe he's not such a bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, the Soul Extraordinaire. We have Lucy.
Lucy's one of those characters that's just really solid. There's nothing bad you can say about Lucy's character. She was funny. I actually think she made me laugh more than a lot of characters.
So much.
That's the kind of character I like personally.
I also love the naivete of her. As opposed to a lot of these other kids in this series, she, to me, kind of embodies the pureness of being a child. I remember her asking Andy, oh, are you going to come back? And he had to lie to her, of course, but the fact that she asked the question, it's just she's believing in the adults and what they tell her, that the next day is going to come.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that she's not in Loop 101 yet. That we'll save that for next week. But I really do like her character. Like you said, she made me laugh so much when she was just freaking out when she found out she was unhealthy.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely gonna get her. I'm just thinking about it more and more about like the soul training. I think Andy definitely is gonna try to get her just to help him out. Like, okay, can you help in explaining this stuff? And plus, sick, right? Uma's sick, and then you have her unsick or unhealthy. So like, yeah,
Yep.
she'll come back.
This is tough. Dare I say I like her a little bit more than Top? I don't know.
Hold
that
on a second,
friendship
my
stuff was
earphone
great.
stopped.
Yep, you're all right. Where do you guys think Lucy should fit for characters? Because this is a tough one. I don't really know where I would put her.
All right.
Oh, okay. I think I'm back.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can, yes.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I do like her more than Top, like personally. Well, yeah, I enjoy her more, like on screen or on paper, on panel presence, for sure.
Okay. So let's go ahead and put her there.
I know some people are like, what do y'all mean? Like, Top is my guy, but I don't know. Lucy is just, her character just works. It makes sense. It's like, I can't say nothing bad about her character.
And you know what's funny? Like, during, like, pre-Ragnarok, I was laughing so much. For the tone of the story at that point, for it introduced kind of like a gag character, and, like, she's not really that, but just someone with so much comedy associated with them, that was just a brilliant move by Tozuka. I loved her being included in the story.
Yeah. And it's even funnier because of Fuuko not being there. So she kind of filled in a certain role. That was cool chemistry wise with Andy, so that worked. And that's a brand new character. So that just goes to how good of a character she is.
Yep. Next up, not even gonna ask. Sorry, Sean.
That boy Sean.
You'll have redemption next loop, but not this one.
Hell yeah. Like Loki?
E tier? Yeah. If there was another tier, he'd be in it.
Loki, he might be on the whole opposite side. But we'll get into that eventually.
All right. Next up, our female protagonist, Fuuko.
S tier.
All right, we're in it.
Okay, between her and Andy in Loop 100. Because spring was a big thing for her. Big moment.
Yeah, it was.
But Andy, damn. Oh, it's tough. It's really tough.
My positioning for her in S tier would be between Andy and Billy.
You know what? I agree with you. I think Andy had more
focus.
Yeah, and his character grew a lot at a certain point. After like Fuuko died, it grew a lot. Now
granted, it was because of her passing, but even still.
Yeah. Now we're talking about the next one. I think I'll swap them, which is great. I love that. It's very equal. I like that a lot.
I feel like this is going to be the first one to where we have a letter grade difference in our opinions, but we have Fang Kowloon in Loop 100 specifically.
It's actually really funny because he's not that much different in one-on-one. I mean, obviously, he's better. He's an ally now and whatnot. But sure. Remember, I actually did not like him in Loop 100.
Loop 100, yeah.
Fighting-wise, I always thought he was dope, but like I was like, I hate this dude. What are you doing with your student? Man, fuck you. But that's a great antagonist, so damn.
He reminds me of how I feel about Ruin. So it'd be somewhat in that area. I just don't know in B tier or C tier.
He's like more of a boss. So like I will put him above Ruin. Would I put him above Top?
Oh, that's tough. because they did have the whole kind of like tsundere reveal when they were looking at the fireworks that he did actually care about Shen and his sister.
Damn.
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yeah, just because he had more impact, man. In 100, he really did.
All right. So next up in the B tier, Lucy. I still feel like I like Lucy more.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I feel like when all else fails, it comes to like who do we like more as a person. That's what I'm doing. That's my method. I really can't figure out who to put above who.
Mm-hmm. This is a tough one, kind of similar to Sean. He did not get the spotlight last loop, but it's going to be Creed Deckard.
Loki hated that boy too. Great, but that's a great villain once again. It's like, where do I put him? Honestly,
first C tier.
Yeah, the high. I'll say for now he's locked as the highest C tier because he did exactly what he needed to do as a character, as a great opposing force. But
and his monologue versus Chikara and Top was awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, baby girl.
So Latla specifically in loop 100.
Personally, she's especially like just what happened when they died, her and Rip
sacrificed herself. Yep.
Yeah, like she's very like I would probably put her. I personally like her more than Tatiana. I think I'll put her behind Tatiana. Like she was like one of the first.
The emotional bits.
Yeah, and she was like one of the first antagonists where it was like you don't hate her at all, like whatsoever.
Yeah, that's tough. Because in the background, you know that she was purposely hurt by the fact that Rip chose her twin sister over her.
Yep.
And then she kind of has to live on with that. I think she was crying when he proposed to her in the last loop. I think I would put her above Tatiana.
You know what? Yeah, I was about to say, the fact that you broke it down like that, I think I will too. The only reason why I kept thinking Tatiana because the whole Billy thing, but Latla was like really a driving force in that relationship with Rip.
And even like near the end of Autumn, to where she's like, "Let me help too." Well, that was also the volume that she sacrificed herself, but like she was a part of the team, and I love her kind of motherly / sisterly relationship to Agu. Mm-hmm. That's also really cool. So
and Fuuko, she was like the first antagonist I was very cordial with her. So yeah, she's definitely for sure.
Okay, next up, he's going to be lower in this loop than next one, but we have Tella.
Yeah. I don't remember what the hell Tella even did.
He just had a couple conversations with the Union. He dropped off Joice's arm like Amazon delivery. Honestly, he didn't do too much last loop. His get back against Umatel was cool, but that was almost off-paneled. I would say highest D.
Highest D. Yeah. Perfect. Oh boy, I just seen who's next. I didn't even repeat that. Oh man. Woo.
Ano Un.
It's funny because like by default, Fuuko and Andy were like the two best characters, It's easy because that's the ones who we're following most of the time. But Ano Un was low-key the first undisputed like GOAT of the series.
And then the callback during Ragnarok, he's been watching this entire time, cheering them on, like that narration. This will be the story of how you win. Peak, absolute peak.
It's tough. Ooh, it's really tough. But like, I would feel weird, slightly weird, not weird, but like a little. Like, of course I'm gonna put him above Billy. But I low-key was thinking like, damn, what we put Ano Un number one? But I'm like, nah, I can't do it though. I can and I can't.
Not one. I don't
don't know.
It comes down to Ano Un versus Fuuko. For me.
Oh man. That's tough. But you know what though? Ano Un is different from a lot of characters because from the little time that Ano Un wasn't like, if you were to count all the chapters that Ano Un was in, it probably is not even 10. It's not. And they had that much impact. Or probably it was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna feel weird putting him above Fuuko, but I would not be mad if you do it. I wouldn't be mad.
Are you leaving it up to me? All right, I see how it is.
Wait, I don't know, man.
But like,
you know what? That's fair. It's okay.
For Fuuko,
I know.
Like her interactions with Uma Spring is making me choked up just thinking about it. Like how pure her love was for another entity. It doesn't matter if you're an Uma. It doesn't matter if you're a human. And then like she dying and like having that whole, she has to sit at the round table and watch her friends die.
Right.
This is tough.
It really is tough. Like this is probably the toughest one we ever done.
I still don't have an answer, honestly.
Because any of those three could actually be one. Like this is the first time we probably have had that, where any of those three could literally be the top one.
Yep.
And nobody would be mad at it because they're very solid. Like, oh man.
God.
That's a whole.
Because I know that Fuuko's going to be higher.
All right,
next
Vince.
Week.
Enjoy your food, man.
All right, enjoy. Because I know Fuuko is going to be ranked higher next week, and Akira has literally not been in but 2 chapters. This loop is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put there.
Second is fine. Because I know Fuuko Fuuko next one, yeah. Fuuko got the next.
Like you said though, just looking at him being between those two,
I feel weird looking at that.
Weird.
Like Andy and Fuuko needs to be by each other.
I get it. I get it.
See, okay, that's the kind of character in the series. Like every series at least should have a character that's like in their own lane. Like they're written way different from everybody else. And I don't know, literally is written different from everybody else. Literally separated from humanity. And did all these things for us in the first place to get us to where we're at and seeing everything. Oh. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, second is fine.
I'm tripping. I would definitely have him second because this could be a self-insert for Totsuka.
That's
like him losing his mom, like the whole spring. Yeah, I got to keep it like that.
And they single-handedly helped the fuck out of us. If Ano Un didn't exist, my goodness.
The future, that being the favorite manga for Gina, for Juiz.
And the Soul Calibur thing. Oh yeah, second. Yep.
Okay.
Sad backstory. Yep.
Oh god. All right. Next up, Chikara, our boy.
Ooh, I love this one because I'm not gonna like the one next time. Not as much.
Oh no.
I mean, he kind of stepped up a little bit recently in a way. Like it feel like the good old Chikara again. This one
starting to get back.
A tier. He's
highest A for me.
Yeah. I don't mind that at all. Definitely. Just a perfect underdog. That's how you write an underdog. He can still be scared, but he was mostly brave a lot. But he can still look weak to the enemy, but he's going to do what he got to do, man, because he know he has to. Unlike someone in another series that we got reminded about earlier today about a 10-year anniversary of doing something and not doing it again. So, Usopp.
Yeah, but Chikara's the boy, man.
Yeah, I love that spot for him, man.
And I do not think there's another character that can be above him in A tier. I don't believe that.
Let me peep quickly. Yeah, that's true. The other ones would just be S, if they are any other. Which I see. I see one.
Okay. First up, Rip Tristan.
Man, you talking about emotional impact? for me, his might have been the first one to actually hit because that was like the first one we actually dove into, even in season one, in the finale, in the finale
Yep.
portions of the autumn arc. And even his reaction to Anaun doing what he did. So like he's the emotional bits. Was always like the top one in Loop 100, and going to his fight against Andy and everything.
Yep.
That shit moved me. That was one of the first things that really, really moved me in this series.
As crazy as this sounds, I like him more this loop than I did last loop.
Really,
Even though, yeah, it's sort of, it took a while to get there, but I feel like being a bad boy and having like a tragic backstory, I'm just getting a little bit tired of that. I've seen it so many times to where
oh yeah,
you have
I feel you on that.
epitome of like a tragic character, and it's just kind of run its course a little bit.
But his is a little different. Like in a way, he's being like
he's also a reluctant hero, and I love
kind of
that.
noble. Yeah, exactly. He's trying to be noble, and he understands like what he's doing is like relatively selfish. Like he understood that in the end. He got it. But like nobody can really be mad at him. That's why I like characters like that. That's like tragic. See, like okay, we talk about this character a lot, Sasuke, right? Me and
Yep.
you both feel similar about him. Where it's like, yes, he has a tragic backstory, but like I don't feel sympathetic or empathetic with him like how I do Rip. Like Rip, at least he was trying to be noble in his efforts. Sasuke never had that. That's what I think. If he
Sasuke
would
was
have
all
had
about
that,
revenge.
exactly. And Rip is not really about revenge. He's just like, I'm trying to get my girl back, man.
He's the type of guy that would burn down the world just to get his love back, and I do respect that. So
Maybe you can
in
cause
terms
you
of
guys
the
an
tier,
impact. I'm sorry.
well,
It's a bias there.
that's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that in the anime. Good God.
Oh,
Long story short, he does need to be an S tier. I don't feel like that's an overestimation of his character.
I actually don't mind you putting him beneath Billy. Like it, I think they're both like, to me
They're
personally,
up
they're both
there.
like even. I think they're very even, just about. It's just Billy has an overall impact to the entire union, so I'll give him that edge. And with Tatiana, and that's a whole emotional story as well. So yeah, Billy he can
Yep.
get the edge there. Don't mind that.
Because I don't know how to remove an image from a tier list, we are not going to rank Ichiko, obviously, because she died before it happened last loop. She did have one very short interaction with Nico. I don't feel like that's enough to like really get what her character was about. Personally, I would put her under Phil if we had to rank her, or I can just leave her in this list at the bottom. It's up to you.
I guess you could just put her in, but people will understand if they see it. Okay, like she's
I still hated Sean's character more, so she goes up.
for sure. Sean is literally like amongst the worst. There's somebody that's worse though.
All right, next up we have the goat. I mean the bunny, Agu, Miss Bax herself.
Just off of the I just out of respect for the goat, I'm putting her above Ruin.
Oh, that low?
Yeah, I wouldn't put her higher. Like memes aside, I don't think she's that much. Like yes, what she did during Ragnarok was crazy, but like who didn't do something crazy? No offense to her, it was wild. That death and everything was wild. But
The
like
disrespect is real. Oh
no,
my
it's
God.
not. It's just like memes aside, Agu as a character is not like
You like
nothing
Fang more than you
special.
like her?
I mean, as a character,
I can't
yes,
believe this.
because he was the first like truthfully, aside from like Rip, he was like he changed the series for me personally. I didn't expect Fang to be that kind of guy at all. I did not know. Like, come on, when you see Fang hooded, right, with his drip, you didn't expect him to be that kind of guy. I was like, whoa, okay, he was just the villainy of him was just perfect for that.
I strongly disagree.
I
would
can't
have
put Bunny.
her
I can't put Agu above it. Like it doesn't like to me. There's no reason why. Like other than me liking her more, there's nothing else.
when you talk about one shining moment, and no, that's not a pun because she got boiled alive. When you have one shining moment, that is etched into my memory. I will never forget those panels to where she was screaming because she was boiled alive. And for you to have this cute little character in a bunny suit, no less, getting cooked alive because she was the one person to temporarily solo stop, I might add, Sun in its entirety. That is crazy.
No, that's a crazy feat, but that's kind of it. It's just that, and she's cute.
She ends her sentences with a goo. Like, there's no other character with that kind of verbal tick that we have in this series.
Oh boy,
Like
wicked sick.
Her being the little sister to Fuuko / Layla, even during their time in Under. I don't know. I gotta have her at least.
She has no focus though. I can't put her higher than him. She doesn't have any focus other than that moment. And yes, we have seen a relationship with Fuuko and such, but like think like Tatiana, for example.
I disagree. I'll put her above Ruin, but
man, listen. Fang, he took out Steel pretty much off screen.
Okay,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
And?
They wasn't doing shit to Steel for real, and he was the one that get him out of here.
Off panel because it wasn't relevant to his character.
And he improved his soul. That's something nobody else did other than Andy and Lucy.
He did not do that in loop 100.
He did. Didn't
the very end.
That's loop 100. Just like Agu. That's the end of loop 100 too. It's the same thing. If anything, that happened before Agu did what she did. So you can't even bring that. Nah, you can't use that. No way.
It was off paneled again. He's Fang off panel, not Kowloon.
That's how OP is.
I do not.
Hey man.
I'll put her there. I fully disagree.
I fully disagree. She does nothing other than getting boiled. And she's cute.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
That's it. If she didn't get boiled, where would you put her?
If she did not, do you hear yourself? If she did not get boiled, the fact of the matter remains, she did get boiled. I can't believe.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can come up with. Boiled and she's a cute little sis. That's it.
I cannot believe this.
The thing is an asshole. And
moving on.
Charm, let us know.
We are next up to Engine, who did also kind of play a similar role in Ragnarok. He did not really have a focus specifically in Loop 100, even though he did talk to Fuuko about the ramen and sort of laid the seeds for his character development in Loop 101.
Very likable. Out of the Under folks, he was like one of the ones that are like easily very likable, even though we didn't get too much from him. And he was very solid in that arc. Like he was like he did his thing.
Them to fight.
Yeah, exactly. So he I don't know where to put him. It's kind of hard.
Reed?
That's what I was thinking, but I almost thought to put him in C2.
I think I do like Creed a little bit more just for his mentality of like, I'm gonna nuke the world type of undecrease.
Yeah. Cause we don't really get like no motivation from Engine. He's just with Under. He likes ramen, or we kind of get the gist that he likes to cook, and that's kind of it. And then he just, showed out during the Ragnarok. So yeah, that's fine.
Oh God, I'm gonna hate this one. I'm gonna hate ranking her this low. Gina Chamber.
I actually don't think she's gonna be that low, unless it depends what low you're thinking. Because my low, if you, I'm thinking she's still an A tier.
Ain't no way. No way.
It was really quick, but that was like one of the first things in the series that moved us.
Ain't no way. I liked Fang more than I liked Gina in Loop 100.
Nah.
As a character. I can't believe you've done this again. I
Like
can't
Gina,
believe
she
we're
was like that. Was like,
no,
am I lying? That was
no
the first
way.
time we were removed from the series, and that was episode 3.
No way. I would have her
She's practically the same.
below top.
She's practically the same in 101. Even though that's kind of weird to base off of that, but like, am I wrong? She's
Yes,
basically the
you're
same.
wrong.
She literally
You are
adopted
absolutely
Gina
wrong.
in 101 literally adopted every single personality trait, fashion trait, every dialogue trait that 100 got. I think you have to give that respect because if we think that Gina, so spoiler alert, if we think that Gina in 101 is like S tier, right? How wouldn't
Agreed.
100 be at least be A? Like if she's B, that doesn't really make sense because a lot of 101 Gina is 100 Gina, like personality and everything. I also kind of weird putting her that low. Am I lying?
Absolutely. Yes, you're lying.
How? Literally, Loop 101 Gina is 85%, 90% of 100.
We literally watched her grow up. That is not the same as seeing an old 50-year-old
She grew up.
woman.
I'm not talking about okay, but what we've seen Gina, she's basically the same. Come on now. There's no way you're saying that her personality is not even close. It literally is. Remember when we first seen Gina 101, she wasn't like that, and then she met her, and with the whole Soul Calibur stuff, and then she basically became her. Literally, you've been agreeing with me before about that.
Look, the callback to the previous loop developed her a little bit. That was primarily
Come on now.
What you coming on it for? No,
Come on
the
now.
chapter title. Come on now.
Literally, that's what I said. Yeah, come on now. Come on.
I would have her behind Fang. That's where I would put her. So where do you want to put her in A tier? We can do the average.
You could put her at the bottom of A, but like if I'm being real, I still think she's.
So you would have her at the top of A.
Oh no, I mean actually, hold on. I would have her.
Where in the A tier would you?
Actually, I would have had her at behind Tatiana at least. Because I think the 3 other characters, I'll say overall, definitely are more than her. But I would just feel weird to put Jean. So where were you? So you were thinking B tier, right? Like middle
Yes.
or bottom?
I'm thinking behind Fang.
And right above top. I think she clears top.
Well, she's above top.
So yeah, I think she works it. I didn't think that. Yeah, this is what we really disagree with.
That's another one I do not disagree. I do not agree with you.
Like, yo, she's literally 80% the same.
20% matters, but whatever.
Especially with her conclusion, you know, we understood her.
Moving on. Whatever. We have Ishin, the muscle.
The intro was fire. I technically like Ishin more in 101, slightly more. Because we got a little bit more from her.
Yeah, she didn't really have a focus last loop.
But she had a fire intro, one of the best ones for sure, / reveal. I probably personally would put her above Engine. I don't know if I want to put her above Creed, because Creed does exactly what he's like designed to do as a character. Where I feel like, you know, you get his motivations and everything. He's like somebody that he understands his role, what he wants to do. He has that kind of resolve. He's just a complete character for 100. Ishin had still had more potential in 100. Obviously, you know, they all died in Ragnarok, so it doesn't. But so untapped potential. So.
For me, a lot of these character rankings are based off of my nostalgia for certain peak moments that they have.
I can tell. The goo.
That aside, I will say that I loved her conversation as Spring was dying. She gave him a final send-off, and she's been carrying the weight of her clan ever since that day. And even like her namesake being based off of the Song of Summer or the Song of Spring, it's just so great that she had that vulnerability inside of this armor. The fact that she was so terrified of getting hurt because she has one of, if not the best abilities. Spoiler alert, go back and watch our abilities ranking tier list. But I love how that her ability is tied in intricately to her character. So because of that, I think I would have her. Oh, where would I have her? I would actually have her in the B tier, but I respect what you say about her being in the C tier.
That's when Fang really sprouted controversy.
You know,
The more I look at him, for Edu and Gina, for different reasons.
he's the fulcrum.
Hey man, maybe go for that nostalgia thing for Gina and Agu. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. I'll put her behind Creed. I would have her slightly higher, but I'll give you this one.
Shinny boy. And 100, oh yeah, you got it. Even though you started to kind of go down a little bit, but he was still practically where he was when we first, really enjoyed him early on. He didn't drop that low. 101 is a little different story, but
I just wish he was utilized more. And I think we've had this conversation before, but he felt to me like a main character or a deuter antagonist, I think it's pronounced. He just seemed like he had that type of energy. And the fact that that was never developed that way, such a shame.
But for 100's sake, honestly,
A tier?
Man. Yeah. Where?
I kind of like Tatiana's story more. Not gonna lie.
I don't. Kind of like. I just thought that whole plot line was crazy with him and Fang, and Mui and May. But it like. Because he was already one of our favorite characters up until that point. So all of season 1, he was still, pretty high, like top 5. And then by then he was still in the top 5. And then after that, he started going downwards a little bit. But like, at least for half of the loop, he was like an A tier character. So I'll put him. I'll put him behind Tatiana.
Okay.
I don't mind that at all. He would have been the highest A or S. He was on the track, but
the fall off, man. All right. Next up, we have the Loop 100 leader of the Union. We have Miss Juiz D'Arc.
She's a really interesting character to rank because she's very complex. A lot of layers to her character. It's really hard to rank Juiz. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like Juiz is like the first one I think we're mostly going to use objectively, like just her position in the story, her ability, the things she's went through from what we know about, the information that she's given us about the loop and arc and all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah. Damn, man. She's S tier. Where would I put her?
Oh, that's tough. I agree with the tier.
I'm not gonna
above Rip or below Rip. I feel like on the lower end of S tier for me.
Really? I was low-key thinking about her and Fuuko. Like I'm thinking and Billy, honestly. Ooh, that's kind of tough. Those three are really close to each other. Honestly, all the S tier are really close when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, there's no like standout.
Like any of them can easily be like number 2 or 3 for sure. Like so, Juiz, man. And just think about our conversations that we had. We theory craft about her more than everybody. Like,
we still don't trust her.
Yeah,
like season 4.
So we low-key still don't right now. Like in terms of the Remember and Julia, we still like, damn man, what if something happens and Luna does something or whatever?
Yeah.
Juiz.
The thing is, for me, I feel like where I start to like lock in is that Billy, to me, he was like the perfect character. And then we even sort of flipped it the next loop. But that just makes me appreciate so much more about what his character was like, you know, last loop. Like his whole thing with Tatiana, him, and like the tragedy of him having to make himself the villain. And Juice does have some similarities to that, to where she had to play the role of the leader, even if it meant giving up her man in Victor to become Andy in the first place.
They kicked me
back?
out. No.
Oh.
Why'd they kick me? Well, yeah, the bird.
Yeah, for me, I personally would have Billy above Juice, but I'll let you rank the position.
Ooh, that's tough, man. I would personally, I had to put her above Billy, and then Fuuko
Above
slightly
Billy.
above her. Yeah, I think they're all like real slight above or below each
Okay.
other. Because like her and Billy relate a lot, but like hers is like a lot deeper. Obviously, you know, because she's been looping or whatnot. And I like her relationship with Fuuko. She trusted her so much. I feel like Juiz was a very completed character on Loop 100. That's the only reason why I can
That's a good
personally
description.
put her ahead of him. Because Billy, he still has like, for like one-on-one, he still has. I won't really. That's actually an interesting thing to think about. Well, I guess Juiz will be Juiz again, or Julie will be her eventually, kind of. But I just kind of feel like Juiz is more. Yeah, she was like a very complete character by then. Where like you don't, if say if Tezuka didn't want to like make Julie into Juiz, but more of her own, that's fine. Like we don't have to see Juiz again. We want to, but
So
we don't
like,
have to.
So, like, would that kind of correspond to what you think might happen with Victor? Do you think that his final moments with her would be holding her dead body in Ragnarok?
Probably, yeah.
Damn, that's tragic.
Essentially, we might have like a good moment though, like when the Julia stuff, but like that's it counts but don't count. I guess you can say one of those kind of situations.
I get you.
And she passed the baton off to Fuuko, so yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Yusai, and yes, I know that's not the correct profile picture. Again, it's just the one I had already available. So, really cool. Old samurai. She was taught love by Andy. She allowed Andy to get free at the top of the tower when Billy was trying to fight Andy.
I wish we got more from her.
She does have a family, which is great because I don't think a lot of others, you know, besides Nico and Ichiko, obviously, they haven't really, you know, had children. Well, obviously Billy as well, but
I feel like there's so much more Tezuka can do with her in that loop and right now. Like I think she's underutilized a lot in both. I mean, she did a good amount for 100, like all the things that you name about her family, what she did to assist Andy, and you know their relationship and whatnot. But she's kind of like
she's like the old master that never really has their own focus, but teaches the next generation.
Right. And I think that's what puts her low because she doesn't have that focus. But maybe that's just how Tezuka wants to write her character. But I think she deserves to have a lot more shine.
Definitely.
Because she's always there. She's like a very solid. Like I look at her the same way I look at Engine. Like they're both very solid characters that you can depend on, and that's the kind of characters that I like. That's kind of people that are cool in real life. They're just really solid individuals. So like, I would say. I think I'll just put her slightly above Engine, just because we have a little bit more from her than Engine, but they're kind of like the level.
I think that's fair.
And
And I
just
do
has, like,
probably
a weird
prefer
impact.
Isheen. Yeah.
I was like, who the hell is that? Damn, that just kind of goes to show what kind of character she is.
Yeah, outside of her conversation with Fuuko about her abilities slash why doesn't my ability work?
Yeah,
She really didn't have much of anything.
I
I will
probably just put
say
her behind Tella.
I would actually put Phil above her, but either way.
Phil's kind of hard because he doesn't like he didn't do nothing. I mean, yes, he did in Ragnarok, but like, hmm, Phil doesn't have a certain aura to him though, and then big like he's just a mystery. So that Loki kind of carries him, which is actually not a bad thing. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would have Phil above her, but they're about on the same
Yeah,
playing field.
you could put her below.
All right. All right. Next up, we have Mui.
Very solid. I think she's gonna kind of be at the same level she'll be in 101. She's since she has more characterization than both Engine and Yusai, I'll probably put her above Yusai. Maybe above Ishin too. It's tough. I don't know. You get to choose if, or unless you think she's higher.
No, I think that tier is about right for her. I do feel it's kind of flipped in next loop. So again, spoiler alert, but I feel like Shen pulls up her character in this loop, but the next loop it's the opposite. I feel like she pulls up his character. So because of that dynamic, I would have right around Yusai, either above or below. It doesn't really matter either way to me.
Yeah, I'll put her above Yusai.
Okay. All right, next up we have Victor. So had a big splash at the beginning of the series, was AWOL for a while, and then came back during pre-Ragnarok, and then officially during Ragnarok.
He is, if we don't know Aura tier list, he is top 2. Top 2 Aura. Obviously,
Named after the God of War.
Victor is kind of interesting because I feel like he's one of those characters where it's like it's easy to like him because of how cool he is, and his character is kind of simple in a good way. I feel like Juiz brings him up and vice versa. If there was no connection there, like if Victor was just like his own thing, or like he was like a former adversary of Juiz or something like that, he would actually be somewhat lower than where I would probably put him. Like lower.
What I like about
like
Victor's
higher
character, and you
higher.
mentioned it, it's he seems simple. His character seems simple on the surface, but there's a lot of depth to him. Even kind of how he interacted with Fuuko initially, like, yes, he was kind of putting on airs to a certain extent. Like he was trying to be intimidating, but it wasn't like he was actively trying to kill her. So he has very similar personality traits to Andy, which would make sense. They came from the same vessel, let's just call it. But I just, to this moment, I just remember his bouts of rage with rebellion being onto his body as opposed to a weapon. He's like, no, get on me.
Like, get on your weapon. We definitely seen him do like a blank face where he's not looking like mad, but smile. I don't know.
There might be one or two panels. It's very, like, it's not memorable if he did do a sort of smile. But
now that I think about it, do you think that?
Oh, maybe... yeah. When Juiz looped the first time, when he was, but ever since,
he might have had like a now that I think about it, when you think about how his personality is compared to Andy, like Andy, he has traits of Victor, like you said, but I wonder if was Victor ever like kind of like a goofball like Andy, or do you think that's like?
No, I think he was a bit more monotone based off of the interactions that he had with Juiz back in their
You know, it'd be so
childhoods.
cool. What if that was like his like Andy is not only is he just like a new like clone kind of him, but also like a dream manifested. Like, what if that's what you want? You want to be happy, full of life and joy, and goofing around, and that's what Andy is. A lot of
A pessimist view of an optimist.
yeah. You know what? I'm a headcanon that. That's who he
Okay,
wanted
I
to
like
be.
it.
He always wanted to be with. Because he always says that him and Fuuko are like him and Juiz. Like he said that, or at least he compared the two in their
Yep.
relationship. So yeah, I'm a headcanon that.
All right, so we've been waffling about him for a while. S tier, yes. Where in the S tier?
This is really tough. This is really tough because obviously I'm fine of putting him above Rip. Like Rip is a personal favorite of mine, but I'm fine putting him ahead of him. But when it comes to Billy, Billy is always the one, man.
I think I would have Victor as the lowest S tier.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. I always thought you had him like above Rip.
No, I really did love Rip and that whole dynamic. Again, I feel like I like Rip a little bit more in Loop 101 now, just because of, like I said, the kind of tragic backstory for a likable character. It's getting a little overdone. Not to say that Rip's backstory is not good, because it is. But at the moment, I think, like, if you asked me today and now if I preferred Rip or Victor, I think I'd probably prefer Rip.
I agree. I guess objectively, though, I just feel like Victor's more obviously
Influential to the story. Yeah.
And he helps Juiz's character be where she's at on this list.
He does.
But
it's kind of hard to rank.
This answer is very close. Like
it's kind of hard.
Characters can be anybody's favorite.
I agree. For me personally, it's difficult to rank Juiz and Victor because we know that they had 99 other loops, and I'm trying not to include those like other 99 loops into my determination of the character.
Oh, I see.
It's difficult, so I'm just trying to look at like one loop, like what their character is, so to speak.
Well,
so that's why
it's not like a cheat, because it's kind of like they are what they are. They are the result of those anyway.
Well, and I think we also mentioned, like, you are your memories. So, like, you wouldn't be the person you are today if you didn't have your memories of what had happened to you in your past, or in their cases, the past.
Right. I guess I'm not gonna bring it. Okay, I won't bring it up again.
Okay.
That's kind of how I look at Gina's whole both. But yeah.
Gotcha. Fair enough. All right. Next up, we have Miko. So she had a poignant little conversation with Fuuko and her dad back near the beginning of Ragnarok. She had kind of a sadistic or crazy little interactions with the Union telepathy when Nico got Uma Galaxy knowledge imparted onto him. And she's friends with Fuuko. So Miko's cool.
She has the same feelings that I have for like Lucy, where I just like him. Like there's nothing bad about him.
Yeah.
But she kind of falls into that same territory of like a underutilized, like a U side.
Yeah.
Whereas like the things are there, the family stuff is there, the characterization, like the personality is all there. But it's like if you were to give Miko focus, which I really like. Since Nico's such a great character, like overall, like probably amongst the most layered characters in the series, top 3 or ish, top 5 at least. And the fact that she looks just like her dad, in terms of hair, whole science get up, and her mom, all sciencey. I really wish we did get more from her. Like that would make that entire family, that trio, just so good. And you don't see that too often in manga.
Do you remember if she used herself as currency for the spring arc? It was her and one of the other. Okay, so we gotta have to remember that as well.
Where would I put her? I kind of don't know where to rank her. Like I like her, but I don't know who would I put her above. And I don't really know what tier. I mean, maybe C tier. I'll put her in C tier, but like
Above Mui?
not personally. I
No.
personally I think I'll put her like above Engine. Maybe U side, but not Mui.
Okay.
But once again, I think C tier is all very close. C and S are all the ones, and A. I'll say those three tiers are the ones that are like really, really close.
What I'm
Anybody can probably
noticing,
talk to each other.
just kind of looking at our list so far, is that B and C tier are almost interchangeable to me. Like, it seems like it could be one big tier. I don't feel like there's a very big discrepancy between the lowest B and the highest C.
For me, kind of. I think B is the most controversial one. That's just for sure. Even to myself, like, yeah.
Again, that's fair. I'm not trying to
like for
just
real,
cause
like
waves
aside from
here.
our own personal placements of B, if you look at everybody in B, I can see people disagreeing with every last one of them.
Oh, for B tier?
Yeah, I can see people thinking some of them are higher, low. Like, I don't think like all of them.
I got you.
Like, people will put Nico way higher. People will put Gina higher or the same or even lower because she was only it wasn't that
Lucy will
long
probably
for
be
her.
lower.
Yeah,
Max will
lower.
probably be lower.
Yeah, Fang, whichever way, depending on how much you like him or how much you hate him. Top, same things. Like some people probably put him higher just because he's just a cool kid. Just like, everything about him is cool. And in Ruin,
I think
like,
people
you can
do
hate
not
him.
like Ruin. I think
Yeah.
people do not like Ruin.
Yeah, so they would disagree with literally all of those. I can't think of one that I'll say that like people, but all right, that's fair. I really can't. Like the general consensus, I don't think there's any.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Oh, is that who I think it is? I know that.
Hey, it's your boy. It's your boy, Clothy, on the mic. Mike.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought
Clothy's
it
cool.
was somebody else.
Well, maybe not as high as I was initially. Who'd you say?
Pocky.
Oh shit! I forgot to add Apocalypse.
That's why I thought that was for a second, and I was like, "Wait, Messi and collar, never mind." I thought it was like the book.
Do we want to include Apocalypse in Loop 100? I mean, I definitely can, but
if so, he's literally the worst.
I don't know if we want to do that to him.
I forgot. Hey, he was so bad we didn't even want to.
Purge that from my memory. Ironic
Shin, you
to
got
remember.
somebody
But anyways, Clothy. I liked him last loop. I definitely liked him more than Cone, and I know I've said that analogy multiple times, but he's just kind of like a cool, almost like a Navi character from The Legend of Zelda. It's just like this informational thing that'll talk to you every once in a while.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking either above Tella or below Engine. I know that's technically the same position. It's just in terms of the tiers.
Yeah. Oh, you can put above Tella in D tier. I don't think he's like C tier. I feel weird putting him in C tier because I don't think he's on any of the level of anybody in C tier.
Although his statement about Fuuko when she was facing Spring, that still reigns in my head.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
that
well,
was a great character moment.
Technically, I'm not supposed to be siding with you.
You know what?
You know what?
For that,
yeah.
Put him in C because like out of all the Umas, aside from like the next one, he was like the one that's most cordial with us, where it's like there's not any issue really. He hasn't really.
Also, I think he's funny. I think he's funny. That too.
Yeah.
All right, Uma Moob.
In 100, I mean,
He's okay.
He did what he needed to do. It's funny, one-on-one, even though he's more of a dick, I still like him. But he just want he like, this is just in my nature, man. I'm just trying to see something, man. I don't care. Hey. But eh, he's like
He's like an instigator.
yeah,
that
really
Mark Phillips professional instigator.
Instigator, yep. That's literally what he is. I feel like I'm not remembering a lot from him, like dialogue wise in Loop 100 compared to 101.
All I remember about his character is like he kept telling Juice like, I want to see some crazy stuff. I want to see some crazy stuff. So like the Australian rock. Yeah, show me something interesting. Like he was okay. Above but Ichiko, maybe. I really don't care about his ranking in this one.
Yeah, you can just put him there. And the next one, I'll definitely put him higher.
Yeah.
Start talking
all right.
More.
Oonga Boonga, Caveman, Uma, Burn.
I respect Burn, man. Out of the Umas from the first loop, he had the most respect out of me. Move to, but like Burn, he had more dialogue, really interesting dialogue.
I love that he wanted to meet his maker.
Yeah.
But not like, meet his maker.
I'd say he's like by Clothy. I'll put him above Clothy just off of the fact that he's just cool. I'll feel weird putting Clothy above him.
That's fair.
And he actually does that dialogue too. It's not like he doesn't say nothing or doesn't do anything, so that definitely does add to him. Yeah, he's right by Indian. Ironic.
This is an interesting one. So Uma Spoil.
Even higher. The most personality.
I would say
aside from Spring.
B tier?
You said B?
B or A. That's just kind of where
Damn,
I'm at.
A? Whoa.
I just love his like ain't shit mentality. Like he purposely is trying to be a jerk. Like his come up in Swiss Shen, that was hilarious. Him having that whole interaction with Uma Burn, like, oh, you're just being used by your master. Isn't that exactly what you're doing?
You're right. He is exactly what he's designed to be, like to the T. Compared to most of the Umas that we've seen some of them like they work with us, even though he kind of ended up having to too. But like,
not by choice.
He definitely has his own mentality, and for Uma, he's very much in allegiance to who he is nature-wise, and he will talk his mind about exactly what he's designed to talk about, essentially.
And even like his mentality of like how he views the world, like he views himself as essential to the world continuing to spin.
In that case, I would put him like personally like in the middle-ish of B tier. I don't know exactly above and below, but like in the middle of the road in B tier. Because I feel like
I'd say above top?
Yeah.
Or above backs, either way.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind if you even put him above Fang. Because he is like the first like example of exactly what an Uma is, and he's the one that's probably the most, at least vocal or verbally too. He's like the most he exemplifies exactly what it is, like the most out of anybody in a way, like easily.
I will say I probably liked seeing him on screen more than I liked Fang last loop, so I'll put him above for now. All right.
Good comedy.
Here comes the headliner of the Umas, at least for me. Uma Spring.
Spring, just because he's an Uma that's very layered and complex, I think he should be in S tier.
I don't
Where in S
disagree
tier?
with that.
I don't know.
That's
I think
difficult, though.
I'll probably put him the lowest of S, just because as an only like he really was a standout. It's like the stuff that we said about Spoil is even more with him, but like to a like we got exactly what we like going into the series, right? I don't know if we have talked about it way back then, but this is something that every reader, when they learn about what Umas are, this is something that they expect. They expect somebody like him that are very conflicted based off of their
Yep.
previous, interactions with a human, the whole stuff with the Ishin from back then and whatnot, and then that arc. That was the arc that pushed Fuuko even higher. Um, and the whole arc was different from any arc that I've probably seen in Shonen. Like it's very different for everything. Just his ability. Um, yeah, I think, and we always had him at like pretty much like the best when it came to
Uma.
like just the characterization. He is the best. So I think he does deserve an S tier. Especially since we think his arc and his design is S tier, I think he deserves that rank too. I feel we're putting his character below his arc and his design.
No. S tier is where he's got to go. I'm just thinking, do I like him more than Victor?
I don't personally.
It's close. I would say I maybe slightly prefer Uma Spring, but I'm not mad at it, so I'll put it right behind. All right, second to last, we have Uma Seal.
Still is kind of
Kaizo
interesting.
Kini. Orewa!
I look at still kind of the same way I look at Fang, unironically. Well, I like Fang more personally, but like he's just a really good opposing force, and he does exactly what he needs to do, in a way, or like what he's setting out to do.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that forced us to well, not forced us, but he was the one that got us into learning about souls, in a way, by battling against them.
I love his conviction.
Yeah, he's very much designed to be exactly what he is. As a regulator, he does exactly what he's supposed to try to seek out to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, he's just it's kind of hard to rank him because I don't know if I want to put him above certain characters, but he does exactly what he's supposed to do. Spoil is a little different because he has like some kind of charisma to his character and he's funny. And Seal is also in that tier of like the Umas who are like doing exactly what they're set out to do, but
Seal's a cop. Like,
yeah,
let's not beat around the bush.
I can't. There's not like I wish there could be more to him, but it can't because that's what he's designed to do. He's a regulator.
He's enforcing the rules.
Exactly. Yep. So just off of that,
I think
alone,
I like Fang more.
Yeah, just off of that alone, I might have to put him. You know what? I'm gonna put him behind Ruin. They were a tandem in that arc, but like I think Ruin's more characterization than Seal because, like you said, he's like a cop, So like as an opposing force, he does what he's supposed to do. But I just think Ruin is more. It's kind of the same thing as like Spoil versus like Burn, for example, where it's like Spoil overall, he's a little bit more captivating than Burn. It's kind of the same thing with like Ruin, even though Ruin's not an Uma, but you get my point.
Oh yeah. Welcome, Alves. Yeah, that was, if you go back and watch the stream, us putting above Fuuko, that was tough. The longest segment of this entire tier list.
It was very tough. It was extremely tough.
So, we got about 10 to 15-minute conversation on that ranking alone.
Yeah. It's just because of everything Ano did in the little time that he was in the manga. It's like that whole weight. Always, every character that you see for a little bit, you can think of any series. There's a lot of characters that are there for a little bit, but they do so much for the story.
All right, but last up, we have almost the childlike version of an Uma. We have Uma Ghost.
Um, it's kind of the same way I feel about Seal, kind of. They just do exactly what they're, you know, but nothing too crazy, nothing too. Obviously, it has like just because of the Nico situation that gives Ghost a boost. But I don't know.
So earlier I was mentioning how I liked the naivete of Lucy and how that represented kind of like a pure innocence type of situation with, the humans in this world. On a similar note, I really love how Ghost was childlike in terms of just wanting friends and being manipulated by Ruin. And that's something that seems very realistic for a childlike personality, even if they are an Uma. So I do like that.
Yeah, I'll bet. I agree. Just like, for example, with Higuruma. If you know, you know, you know.
I do not know.
No, I'm talking to Alves. I'm not talking about
I know.
it's an A and B conversation. Either way, I know this one.
So speaking of A, B, C, D, E,
Yeah.
what tier would you rank Uma Ghost?
So now I'm starting to think a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So, well, usually we kind of do this at like the end if we feel like moving somebody. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it now only because um it depends on how our rank goes. But I think Creed should be higher now, like in B tier. But the more I look at him and see, I'm like, I'm not sure if I really feel that he should be in C.
I mean, he did get a lot of development, even if we didn't know his backstory.
And he was the one that shot the gun. He was the one that did the gun, man. He was controlling the gun.
That's true.
Electric gun. But like, he was just a great opposing force, especially for Chikara and Top. Like
and then like the whole nuke situation.
Yeah, and you can understand his motivations without even knowing exactly what happened to him. You just like, okay, he obviously has something going on where he's like, yeah, fuck the world. I'm trying to run shit myself. Regardless of what happened to make him like that, those motivations are high as hell. So I think that I just feel weird seeing him in B tier because I'm thinking I'm gonna put Ghost in C tier personally.
I would put Creed above Seal, but maybe not above Ruin.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm thinking maybe I don't know about Ghost. I almost said highest C just because of the eco thing, but like kind of getting carried a little bit.
That's true, but I really love how Ghost, from almost start to finish, was like a child.
Yeah.
That's so different than all the other Umas. Like, you have the sympathetic one, talk about Clothy. You have, like, the super old one, talk about Burn. You have the jerk that's spoiled. Like, Uma Ghost was uniquely itself.
That's true. Damn, I'm actually surprised. I didn't feel like this going, or at least maybe I just didn't think too much about the Umas going into this, but like, they all are very unique. Like, they don't share the same traits as the others. Like, Burn is devoted to God, but not like in the way that the others are, where they're just kind of just dick riding because that's what they are. I mean, he kind of is, but like not in a bad way. That's just in his nature. Spoil, same thing, that he speaks his mind all the time. Seal's a cop. Spring, we already know it, very complex and layered. And like you said, with Ghost being pretty much young, very young. So yeah, you can choose whatever.
Damn.
Yeah, I agree. Anonymous, it's my boy, man. And they are pretty similar.
How would you feel about right there?
I'm fine with that. Completely fine with that.
All right.
It's our list, guys. Yeah, the top 15. I think we cook with that, man.
I mean, look, if you're an S tier or A tier, even for this loop, like Tozuka was cooking something with you.
Yeah. I think we usually do cook with S and A though. To be fair,
B tier
because
was
Lil
definitely
Marie,
controversial.
yeah, B tier was the like for sure. Even I'm
Which is
looking at it like
ironic.
on a personal standpoint. Some of it was
I got.
personal, some of it was objective, but
Oh yeah.
I don't even agree with it. Even my own choice.
I don't either.
Taken away.
But you know, we're doing averages, so here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, Mui, I would personally, I probably would put Mui above Ghost, but it doesn't matter. I think they're like so close, it doesn't really matter too much. But I do really like Mui. She's like probably one of my favorite obscure characters in the series that doesn't really get a lot of shine. She's like somewhere in the top of that. Top 15,
So,
objectively correct. Yep. Lucy, yep.
what other tier lists do you guys want us to do or can think of us doing? Because next week we are going to be doing Loop 101 favorite characters.
Can't wait for that.
And then the week after, I'm thinking maybe like characters and how they're utilized in the story, either like underutilized or like utilized just perfectly.
So like their roles.
Yeah, so like their roles specifically, how they're written, are they used enough? Are they not used enough? But that was really
actually kind of good.
Yep, we already ranked the arcs. We ranked the fights. We ranked the negator abilities, volume covers, the umas, the designs, all of the human designs.
Ability. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of
tier lists. We will be doing a poll eventually, so probably like in a few weeks or so, if we kind of run out for this, we'll probably just end up doing some more tier lists, whether it's on stream or just uploading for like any other series, or do like a poll for like series that you might want us to. I'll say preferably things that we probably seen on our channel, on this channel, just in case we kind of like say for example, we ended up doing like a series that we probably watched before or reacted to, or not reacted to, but like watched before off camera, and we just kind of like forget. But something that's like recent in our memory. So anything on the channel, I would say specifically, is good.
Oh, Gavin, are you talking about like the powers first manifesting? That'd be a pretty good one.
Oh yeah. Or even the traumas, right?
I guess we could do trauma. I mean, Nico's already gonna. We sort of incorporated that with the negator abilities because we would assume we would get similar to tragedies if we were to develop those. But the development, or at least the initial showing to the viewer of the powers, that definitely has to be on there. We also had like a shipping one. Yeah, I think he means the powers.
Yeah, I know. Power, yeah.
I guess we can do this. I'm not a big fan of power scaling, but we could do most powerful abilities if you guys really wanted us to, but I'm not particularly fond of that conversation.
That one actually would be pretty hard too, not gonna lie. It really depends how you look at it, because the matchups would matter in that case, but yeah. But the reason why I said series that we rack into on the channel is just because, you know, there wouldn't really be any other, maybe like AOT, you know. I don't know, maybe one day we could do AOTs here. Listen.
I would love to do a reread of that first, just to see if my opinion changes at all, or because I've really not done a reread since it ended.
So, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll do a poll, or probably ask you guys in the Discord some of the ones you probably will want to see that you guys mostly follow.
Or if we run on a tier list, we could somewhat transition to a new manga read through. So we've kind of put the idea out there that Berserk could be our next series. So we could get into that a little bit sooner. I know that September is here now officially today, but I think we were planning what, October for that or November?
Yeah, somewhere closer to the end of the year. But this is our list. I love Chikara. That's like the best placement. That's like the absolute best placement on the list for me personally.
And I love that he's looking up.
Yeah.
Oh, he is such a cinnamon roll. I love Chikara.
Yeah, I'm S tier characters. They are truthfully S tier characters.
So good.
There's no way somebody say, "Oh yeah, any of those are like B tier." There's no way. There's no way.
They have to be
You're
at
not paying
least
attention to the
A.
story. Yeah, you're not paying attention to the story. You think any of them are B tier or below? Yeah, the Don for sure. I hear so much about. I seen like a panel. I'm like, this art is crazy good. I don't know what I was looking at. It was just like a whole bunch of, I don't know.
I heard recently, and I think I might have been spoiled on the actual title, like, you know, a title drop of Dadan and or Don, I guess. But this panel is buck wild.
I think
I don't even know what to think of it.
Yeah, it was
Out of context.
It was dark, right? Like really dark.
No. Mine was more so like you know, those church glass murals.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like I meant like
oh, okay,
like drawing like
gotcha,
black, like a lot of black.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa.
I hear it's really good. Like every time I hear about like new gen Shonen Jump series that are doing really good, it's always going to be Undead and that. Those are the two that I always hear about a lot.
Yeah, so the Don next month. We got Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War next month.
Yes, sir.
My Hero will be over at the end of October or the middle of October.
It should be, yeah, just about. Hey, we might throw out a tier list for that when that ends.
We shall see. All right, well, I don't really have any much more to say on either the chapter or the tier list. Great chapter. Love the callbacks. As Vante said earlier in the stream, we are definitely moving towards the ending of the series. So I would consider this final saga or very close to final saga.
For sure. Soul training arc or just something of that sort. Remember, then I guess it's time to battle. Pretty much. I don't think there's any other than getting some more artifacts, and so the preparation for the war. And yeah, can't wait till we get some more dialogue from Luna. Maybe even Sun. We'll see. I feel like at this point,
hopefully Sun is sentient.
At this point, I feel like he might not be. Just because
I think Luna's might be using him as a puppet at this point.
Probably. Now, it would be kind of insane if Sun actually is sentient and can speak because, like, damn, what took you so long? You know what? I didn't even think about this. Well, maybe not. I was going to say, what if, like, Luna's, like, kind of just switching sides? They're playing by themselves and they're just going both sides? Like,
like whenever you don't have another player for like checkers, you play both sides.
Yeah. Just because that's why it seems such like a contradiction, but it's just like, oh, I'm just running the whole game myself. Like Sun is just like a prop, or it's just you know.
Yeah,
but
puppet.
I don't know. Here's hoping. I'm anticipating him being or her being like sentient. That would be cool to see. But if not, that doesn't change much because that's kind of where we are right now anyway. So it's not. It wouldn't be a big let down or nothing like that. Yeah, yep. Heart too. Fine heart. The hot.
Out of the cards.
Yeah, that's pretty much it though.
All right, guys. So I will wrap us up here. Make sure you join our Discord. I'll try to put that. I think it's in the description of this live stream, but join if you want to talk to us off stream. or just get updates in general. We got a lot of our backlog to release these next couple of weeks before everything starts to get crazy with the fall anime season. So be on the lookout for that if you followed any of our previous series on the channel, but have not seen a video from it. Again, that's primarily my bad. But as Vante likes to say, stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. We'll see you in the next stream or video. Peace.
Peace.